Everyone, this is a short video to demonstrate to you how to set up Microsoft Teams for your classes. It's primarily aimed at classroom facing staff, but might be useful to others as well. So in terms of what we're going to cover, we're going to look at when you initially go into your teams that have now been created for you with the correct students in and all your classes. We're going to look at changing the communication settings for students so you can make a decision as to whether in the first instance you want students to be able to comment on things, to post things, to upload things, or if at first you'd prefer it so you're kind of in control of what goes on there. We're going to have a look at adding something called channels to help keep your team nice and organised. We're going to look at uploading files, and we're also going to look at using key resources. So hopefully by the end of this video you should have a good idea of how to set up your teams for your different classes. So a couple of ways that you can load Microsoft Teams. You can either access it through the way that you access all other Office 365 applications by going on the internet and going to office.com and logging in. So you might do that, for instance, if you're at home or on a non-school device. Or the easiest way on a school device is just to search for Microsoft Teams and just load the app up here. Now, depending on when you watch this video will depend on what you see when you first go into Microsoft Teams. If you're watching this video on the inset days, the likelihood is that your pre-populated teams aren't going to be visible to you yet. But if you're watching these post-inset day, then you should be able to see all of your classes ready for you just here. If your classes are ready for you, you can skip this next step and just click on the class that you'd like to make changes to. Or if it's not, you might want to just go to the top right hand corner here and click create team and just create an example team, call it test team or something like that, one you can have a little bit of a play around with today. So I'll show you a Teams that I made earlier, so you can see the kind of thing that you can do with it. So I've decided to add a logo here to allow students to easily identify it. I've got a subject specific logo here that I use for all of my teams, and if you want to do that, then all you need to do is go up to the icon just here, click on change team picture, and then you've got a choice of the teams icons just here, or if you'd like to, you can upload your own by just clicking here, upload. So in terms of the admin settings, to make sure that students can only do on Teams what you'd like them to do, you need to go on to these three dots here to access all the settings, just next to the Teams title. And then go to Manage Team, and then go to Members. So you can see here, I've just got Mr. Gregory in my team at the minute as a student. And if I want to mute Mr. Gregory, then I can just click just here, and that will mute all students in my team, which means that they can't, for instance, add a comment, they can't create a post or something like that. You might decide later down the line that you want them to be able to do that, and it's really easy to go back and change that setting. You just go to the three dots again and then Manage Team, onto Members, and then you can either untick individual students or you can untick just here and allow all students to comment and create posts and that kind of thing. So you'll see down the left just here, I've got sort of almost different subsections for my class team just here. So I've got different units, I've got a section for mock exams, I've got a section for revision resources. Now what these sections here are called in Microsoft speak is a channel. And a channel is basically a section for your team. So depending on how your curriculum is organised, you might create a channel for each unit perhaps, or each theme, or a channel for revision resources, or a channel for speaking in languages, and one for listening and one for writing. It's down to you how you create them, but you can create as many channels as you want to. By default, every team has a general channel, and that can't be deleted. And this is the main channel that students and staff will come to when they click on your team. So you put things like important messages in here, important resources, and that kind of thing. If you'd like to add a channel to the team, then you just go to the three dots just here, like we did before, and then click Add Channel. And then you type in whatever you want the channel to be. You might call it, I don't know, Mock 2 Preparation, and then click Add. If you've got people in your team already, you want to tick this here, which says automatically show this channel in everyone's channel list. So everyone in your class gets that. So you click on Add just there. And then you can see that channel's been created for us. Now, by default, each channel has three sections. It's got Posts, which is where all your general messages go. It's got a Files section, and it's got a Notes section. We're not going to worry about the Notes section for now, but what I want to have a look at is the Files section. By default, in the Files section, you'll see a folder called Class Materials. Now, anything that you upload into this Class Materials folder isn't editable by students, so it's read only. They can only look at it, but they can't make any changes or anything like that. So any, for instance, revision guides or knowledge organisers, that kind of thing, you probably want to upload them into the Class Materials section. Now, to keep it organised, within this Class Materials section, you can create a new folder. So we could create one called Revision Resources, for instance. And then we can see just there, that folder's been created for us. Now, if you want to upload anything into this folder, there's a few different ways that you can do it. So we click on Revision Resources, and then it will take us into the folder. And then what we can do is click this button at the top that says Upload and go to Upload Files. And then wherever that file is stored on your computer, you can navigate to it in the normal way that you locate a file. And then click on the file, and then wherever it is, click on it, and then it will upload it into the team for you. And we can see that file in there now for students to access within Teams when they want to. And as I said earlier, it's completely read-only, so they can't edit anything that's in the Class Materials folder. So if we go back to the general channel, you can see at the top here, I've got a few different tabs. Now we've looked at the files already, class notebook, assignments and grades. We're not going to worry about for now, but there are two tabs here that I've decided to add to my Microsoft team for this class. The first one is the course textbook here, which I had saved on my computer as a PDF, and I decided to upload it to allow students to see it really. And now you can see the entire textbooks here really easily for students to access. Straight away when they go on the Teams, they can click at the top here, course textbook, and it's there for them to do any independent learning that they want to do. The other resource that I've decided to upload, because it's something that I use quite regularly, is Seneca Learning. And again, what I've done is load that onto the Teams, so it's really quickly and easily accessible for students to be able to view. And they can actually view the website all within Teams without going anywhere, so it's all there for them. So if you want to add something similar to this to your class Teams, all you do is click the plus icon just here. And then depending on what it is that you want to add will depend on what you search for just here. So let's say, for instance, you want to add a web link, let's say, to Quizlet that you use, or Padlet, or BBC Bitesize, or something like that. So in the search box just here, we'd type website, and then click on this just here. And then it'll ask you to give a name to the tab, so you can call it whatever you want. So, you know, let's say BBC Bitesize. and then you go to your web browser, load up the particular website that you use very frequently in class, paste it just there, and then click save, and that will show up at the top for you, just like mine have here. So that's how you do a website. You might decide that you want to upload a Word document or a PowerPoint or a PDF or something like that that you use very regularly within your teaching. It might be a mark scheme, it might be the specification, it might be a checklist of content, for instance. So to do that, depending on what the document is, whether it's a PDF, a PowerPoint or a Word document, you click on the relevant document type. So let's say it's a PowerPoint, for instance. Click on that, and then we choose what we want to call the tab. So I might call it Revision PowerPoint, for instance. And then you navigate to wherever it's stored within your team. So we'll use that PowerPoint that I just showed you how to upload a moment ago. Go into Revision Resources. And then it's just here for me. So I'll click on that, click Save, and then it will show at the top for me. So once you've completed those steps, to add in the channels, to add any tabs at the top that you use really frequently that you want students to have really quick access to, and you've also added any sort of key course files or curriculum files into the class materials folder that you might need, your team should be set up for your students to start using. I'm going to record a subsequent video to this which talks about how to use Teams, so to do things like setting assignments on Teams, to do things like posting messages and things like that. Thanks very much, everyone.